was the fact that Heroic were taking some aggressive fights and winning them as well. Either way, we've got to rush straight in towards this B site. Snappy is going to be the first man met. Already picks up one. Esperanto is there to trade. He was good in the first pistol round, but Nico's already come back in. S-Tag's caught another one. It's left down to just 2.
Esperanto alone on the site. The Cillian's already cut off here, and they can't hit the headshots until finally he finds it, but not fast enough. I mean, sure enough, Imperial just go charging into the B site, and while they take that first player by surprise, Heroic gave them absolutely zero space to breathe. There was no smokes, no flashes, or Molotovs to really prevent Heroic to come in quickly. They overwhelmed the short control, which we saw Imperial never hold on to, and they even just come charging up from Graffiti. I mean, you saw those players from Imperial just die instantly on the site, and that's because Heroic, well, when push comes to shove, they shove you right back.
Yeah, slight technical issue. Hopefully it'll be as quick and painless as the last one. Looking like it's something to do with Mr. Rubino. We've got to hold on tight. But yeah, an important pistol round to start things off for Heroic. They're on that CT side, of course. T's do manage to get themselves a bomb plant, so it's likely that we'll see some sort of early buy coming in round number 3. I doubt we're going to see any issued forced here because just unnecessary. At such an early point. The one thing I really was worried or scared about when seeing Imperial in the end of the last map is that we started seeing some silly plays. We started seeing some way over aggressive plays, like Esperanto just trying to do things that, okay, he can do, but he shouldn't be doing when they're in like 3v3s or in such a weak position like they were.
Oh no, the tail end of the caboose has been spotted by Nico, so Madi already knows what's coming. He anticipates the fast push moving its way, but he actually opts to fall even further back, nearly losing his life before he even gets a shot off. Sure enough, he does take one, but look at the CTs coming in hot from behind. No after plant control. If your bomb planter is playing for bathrooms, why is everybody pushing past him? I mean, sure, they've got control of bank, but with no plant, this is useless. Tensky pinned into the corner, and Heroic clean up the round.
Yeah, the one thing I will say, though, is obviously with the buy coming back in the next one, that's actually not too bad. Obviously, with what they could have achieved, they could have got a bomb plant, they could have had plenty of utility to go with this buy, or even an AWP, but they've at least forced a couple of rebuys. And if you look at the amount of money that Heroic currently have, if they lose this round, they're being reset.
Looks like they're going to head out towards Fountain yet again, trying to move themselves into party already. Could go flashing or boosting over the smoke. And right now, Heroic, well, they're on an expedition down into Connector where Nico finds himself the first frag. Now, he definitely could have heard the player above. Nuki anticipates this long lurk, but what this does is actually holds off one of the Imperial players, so Madi's going to be presented what will be a 1v1. Oh, it's Cillian. Flicks back, snaps the headshot, and instantly at the same time, Nuki simultaneously frags. The bomb's been denied, and now Nexa needs to try to find the plant, but the CTs are already here to cut him off. That bomb is pinned into the corner. Oh, the fadeaway headshot, and he tries to get another, but it's Heroic to the kill feed, and it's Nuki to try and clutch.
Yeah, those 2 kills have left it on the Lithuanian to try and clutch this one out. The bomb down, he's got time. The smokes will begin to fade. He's going to try and use them to his advantage, sneaking back forward, but Nico spotted him. He hits the headshot anyway and leaves Rubino into the clutch. The problem is, UK can only guess where his opponent currently sits. He could just take the bomb. That's the thing, the B side's completely open. He may think of this idea. If he can get himself round down those stairs, he can sneak back and turn this 1v1 heavily into his favor, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Just run back towards that site. Rubino is going to be clueless until that bomb goes down, and this is going to be absolutely perfect.
Rubino, unfortunately, working with a massive health disadvantage. But a single headshot from either gun will still get the job done. Nuki positions towards Pillar, aware that the player should be A, and an instant deletion. Very little HP to play off of. That's a bounce back, Tom. The first gun round moving forward from Imperial has already net them a win. But they were reset so many times on the T side of Mirage. Every single time, in fact, until the 15th round when they didn't get a chance. So this is a very real opportunity to actually convert some points here. Heroic have nothing invested, as vanilla as can be.
Yeah, most players with around that sort of $2,000 to $500 marker, so They will have themselves a buy into the next. Triple boost thrown in. Okay, not for long. They actually just opt to go for something a little bit more aggressive, try and take some mortar control. There's lots of players in the connector. Esperanto is more than aware of the potential for some sort of boost. Now, the expectation here may be some sort of force, but it won't matter. Quick couple of kills come in. S-Tag manages to feel back one, but Asilian's made $1,800 already in this round, and Snappy, well, he's left alone over towards this B site. USP in hand. Even dropping a second player here can make things a little bit more interesting when they rebuy into the next, not allowing Imperial to build up too much cash. That's a nice little tap away. Won't be allowed anything more, but all in all, not bad for a straight-up save.
Yeah. For $0 invested, 2 frags is more than some would hope for. Got to be happy with it. Asilian obviously gets the back end of that short side push. Here's what they get themselves by being reserved and conservative in the previous round. It is the op for Snappy, 4 M4s around it. And an initial position from the opper here towards long. Imperial will not be contested inside of connector. In fact, they can eventually creep their way in, but first they want to lock down this fountain control. First, they want to feel out the extremities of A.
I hope this time is going to be into the hands of Snappy. T-side actually pushing round that short position, looking for the peak. Won't find anything, and this could be a bit of a problem. They're going to be sneaking their way up towards that A site. Modi will be the only man here. If he's lost, okay, there'll be a quick flank. But the fact is, the site could quickly fall into the control of Imperial, and at the moment they have absolutely no information. The one thing that is interesting, though, is Asilian is the man with the bomb. He's the first man in, he's leading the charge. If this is dropped, it could go very badly wrong, but he wins the battle anyway. Now that flank comes in from Snappy, he has the AWP, looks for the shot, finds it onto Esperanto, and at least keeps things into a 4v4.
Oh no, but look at this player creeping through washrooms. Nuki is lucky to get the timing. It's still a man up. Snappy tries to skewer the site, and the second peek will work, but does he get the next? It's Tensky standing in the open. His arms exposed, but a distraction is what's served up onto the plate of Snappy. Nexa gets him from behind. But here comes EasyTag. He's also flanking hard. He hears the feet to the left. It's a bait and switch. Never thinking, of course, that there is also a man to the other side. That is 2 instances, I think, Tom, where Heroic are kind of unlucky. Snappy obviously shooting at the limbs of Tensky, can't quite land his shot, and he's so distracted that the player long gets him. Then you see EasyTag work into the bathrooms. He's about to peek right to the player who's facing his way, and the footsteps towards Party distracts him. It's a great opening for Imperial. Let's not take it away. They crept their way closer to the A site. They very crucially got Asilian into position. As said, he was leading with that bomb. Things could have gone awfully wrong, but in fact, they work it back, and Imperial will have an advantage again. It is full guns versus the single M4 of Rubino.
Well, this round is done. The T side have just walked straight into the B side. There's absolutely nobody here. Imperial have got themselves a nice, easy round. Rubino does have that one rifle, may even just look to bring that into the next one. And while the CT side, they gambled and they gambled incorrectly. Unfortunately, that's going to leave them with a 7-day trade ban.
It's a trade ban we all suffer from now. Oh, careful, careful. They've already got themselves 1 rifle moving forward, so long as Rubino holds. Imperial would not want to afford them a second, but by clearing Snappy, they now have an avenue to exit, and the entirety of Imperial will work their way upwards. Everyone should survive. Is Asilian far enough? Yes, absolutely. Maudi's looking to get into position as the round will come to a close, but that's exactly what happened here. The book shut quickly. As said, gambling doesn't pay off.
Here we go. We'll have a buyback in from the CT side. T's already with 4 rounds on the board, getting off to a much better start than what we saw in the previous map, where Heroic pretty much dominated from beginning to end. We're looking to see if they can bounce back into this game. They've got themselves rifles across the board, a decent amount of utility behind it, a couple of kits, and not too much in terms of vulnerabilities just yet. No AWP onto Snappy, which did have some decent impact in the couple of rounds, even considering the missed shots. And now the T's fall back into a much more default strategy. They don't have anybody over towards that A side of the map. They're just holding for any aggression onto that B spot. Nuke will be feeling things out with the AWP. Normally, we see Esperanto with a little bit more aggression, but he's actually the furthest back.
Nobody wants to be too adventurous this round. We hit that minute mark, and you can see how Heroic have offered up all of the map control. No contest inside connector, nothing towards short, not even on A. The furthermost player pushed up is in fact Snappy, who resides outside the bathrooms. Heroic will have 2 players committed within the B-bomb site, and that support will be Maudie off Graffiti. But EC Tag very close to the smoke, so if the flashbangs come in, odds are they go past him. Oh, but they spam it, anticipating his position and finding an opening kill. Now Imperial are gonna go off of this. Rubino lines them up, but he only actually kills off 1. That's crucial from Nexa, denying the flank to come forward. So what do? They boost. And I believe he just got hit.
Yeah, the CT side once again are actually going to opt to try and fall out of the round, hold on to what they've got, and Imperial, they have themselves a 5th round on the board of this T side. It's looking much, much better from them, catching the initial aggression, and although a lot of damage is done, keeping the HP of them low, they're now starting to build up quite a bank. This is a 5th round in a row, maximum loss bonus pulled in, and that's where we actually see the save, because Nico and Modi will be able to drop a weapon. One can be brought up as well onto Rubino, maybe even an AWP. But they've got to hold on to these weapons. Luckily for them, the only man hunting was Nexa, and the rest of the team are just going to save over towards B.
Imperial starting to piece together quite the successful T side. I mean, we wrote them off versus North. We said they had to pick up Mirage in order to even come close in that series, which they did. We said the same thing here, Tom. Mirage had to be a part of the equation because Overpass should not. Early days still, we cannot get ahead of ourselves, and I hope Imperial don't either. They have a lot of work ahead. But so far, they have done a very good job on this T side. They will opt to go back towards B. An initial setup quite quickly into the water as well. They do smoke off connector, and Tensky gets very aggressive. He has been spotted as EC Tag tries to position himself more safely this time round. The flashbang's completely blinding, but he gets amongst the terrorists. Now he can strike in from behind, and Rubino's already got 2, so EC Tag takes 3. Heroic with a solid hold, and another round to their name.
Yeah, complete shutdown, a great sneak through the smoke, and Rubino getting 2 with the UMP as well just means an absolute shutdown round coming out from Heroic. A great way to get back onto the scoreline. There will still be a buy coming back in, but this was just ridiculous. The 3rd play, I don't know how Nuclear doesn't manage to hit the shot. I suppose in the panic, things just don't go his way. The T's, they need to try and rebound here. That's the sort of round that can bring a team to life, and just look at the aggression that's coming out from this CT side. Modi has already caught 1. Will there be a trade back? Yes, there will. Asilian catches him, but they've still got Nico watching over towards this connector. Snappy finds the kill back in mid, and that's the bomb dropped, and there's nowhere near it for the T's.
Snappy's trying to reel backwards, but oh, he gets caught by Esperanto, who now has a chance back into the round, but they've left the bomb behind. These 2 CTs set to scramble, unsure as to where to commit. You see EC Tag lingering a little longer. He's listening for the footsteps above. The verticality of Overpass does play into that. However, these Molotovs are so on point. Rubino with a dirty headshot can't get himself the next one. So it is going to be EC Tag to try and clutch this out. Of course, he's lucky the bomb is so far away, because this buys time for him to come up through connector. He will be able to get closer to the bomb site, not having to fight against time, especially when you take into consideration he's working with a kit.
The problem is, other than that, he doesn't have much else to his name, and because the CT side have control of bank and the stairs, they can go for a much safer plant, but Tensky's actually going to push into the crosshair of his opponent. S-Tag manages to find himself the kill, leaves Nexa alone into the 1 versus 1, but he has absolutely no idea. Hits the shot anyway. A 2nd round in a row clutched out by S-Tag. What a play from him, and they will get themselves a 4th nonetheless.
There we have it, just finding his timing, sneaking his way into the site, and striking at the perfect moment. Money on the wall. It was flashy. We'll give him that. Layered sprays. Here we have it. He strikes at the opportune moment. Tensky blindsided. Nexa tries to come back into position on the cross, but EC Tag reads that slight gap because he gets that 1 second to peek into bathrooms. If that's when Nexa was able to strike, then EC Tag's dead to rights, but no. It is Heroic with another. It is the lead cut down to 1. It is Imperial working with an op the same as the boys on Heroic. The wall bangs ambitious, not gonna connect. The Molotovs pluming slow things down, but not for very long. Tensky already takes some map control. Esperanto will do the same, and Asilian set to wait, anticipating a push here. Heroic's most aggressive stance comes on long A. They're definitely playing the extremities, Tom. 2 players positioned long A, and 2 guys towards the depths of Monster.
I think that Imperial have definitely changed the way they're playing, though, versus Heroic. Like,
yes.
A lot of what we saw was Esperanto going for aggressive peaks onto short, or even going and taking fights on long. Instead, he seems much more passive this time, looking for Nico and an instant execution. As Nico tries to fall back, you don't run into this man's crosshair. Will now be the man advantage, because of this, Snappy feels the need to try and go a little bit aggressive himself, wants to find some sort of trade back, but the T's have just fallen passive themselves, and now S-Tag and Co gonna leave into the hands of Tensky, who sprays back down to take 2. The B site opened up, and leaving just Snappy and Modi to try and fight this back. Snappy will at least catch Nexa with his pants down, but other than that, it's still gonna be a 2v4. Make it a 2v3.
Unfortunately for them, the position's so far away. I don't think Snappy ever expected to have a chance back into the retake, so he had already led his way out from Connector. When he got that initial kill, he could have contested onto short, but Tensky was lying in wait there. So Imperial back on the board. And if we look at the scores...
It's just been very backwards and forwards.
Exactly. We'll see the nature of these rounds. We'll see that the sprees have not been strung together.
And we see that also the fact that these saved weapons coming out from Heroic are so integral as well. If they are going to keep any sort of bite going. 6-4. No defining lead taken by either of the teams just yet. But a 6-round T-side definitely isn't bad, especially when we look at how Imperial were able to start versus North. They got a 9-1 start on their CT side, finished it as 10-5 as well. So already getting themselves 6 rounds initially. Not bad, but you can still see there's definitely still a buy coming up from Heroic. Snappy with the ability to drop. Could even go for a double AWP setup. Like Rubino over towards that B site in the past has been very happy to pick up that AWP. In fact, in the old sort of Dignitas roster, that was almost a common thing for him to do.
Yep, absolutely. It's a great time for Heroic to take this pause, predominantly because they want to try to break this back and forth nature. They want to definitely string some rounds together, and this is going to be one of their chances to do that. If not, they're looking at pistols. And then they have given away exactly what they want, those easy rounds, the conversions. I do paint Heroic as the type of team similarly to North to kind of make the most of these pauses, definitely try to change things up. It is curious to me, though, you brought it up, Tom, the way that Imperial have played is very much different. I feel like Esperanto is not being set up to play those super aggressive moments. And if you've done something that has worked all weekend long, you come into the grand finals and try to make changes on the fly, then you might run into issues. We'll have to see. As this first half continues to unfold, it's a fast pace set to the B site, instant deletion. Speak of the devil, Esperanto. Oh, he just keeps going. And instantly Heroic's forced back into the save. They want nothing to do with this kid.
That's just filth. That's just filth. Like, we talk about the fact that he's not been put in those positions to make just solo aggressive plays. I do think that it's not necessarily a bad thing, because they've been doing well as a team, which if you can work well without just one player going absolutely ham, that's a much more stable way to play the game. At the same time, if you have a man who can run into the site, pop 2 heads with a couple of bullets, and then win yourself around in a matter of seconds, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
No, definitely not. But it does come down to the questionable consistency of such a strat.
Yeah.
So when every once in a while you get around like that, perfect.
Yeah.
He's done his job. He does what he does best.
Well, I think the prime example of that right now is Na'Vi. Like, you have that crazy player who can win you rounds all the time, but in terms of consistent performances, they have none.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's definitely much more stable to have sort of a consistent team, and I think that is much more when you lean over towards that heroic side, but that's just the sort of thing that this guy can do. Runs into a site, ends the round within seconds. The save does mean that Heroic are able to continue to buy, but that's the thing. There's been so many rounds now where Heroic have been forced into save positions. Okay, it's great to get them back in, but the fact is, the only reason that's happening is because they're losing so many of these opening duels and the sites.
Fast flash, Esperanto tries his luck yet again. Oh my god, it's Sicilian to pick up the headshot. Esperanto survives, that's what's crazy there. He should have been dead to rights, but Snappy, oh, Snappy gets deleted. Esperanto continues on, and Sicilian covers the back. The Molotov's not what he needed to have in hands. He wanted that gun, but the door is the duel that is next set to unfold, and it will be a very crucial one. If EasyTac dies, then that's an open route to the B bomb site, and this bomb is no longer boxed in towards A.
Yeah, the scarier duel now, though, will actually be who wins between Rubino and the man with the bomb. It's answered very quickly. Asilium with a third headshot of this round. He's channeled his inner SB in this one and leaves it all onto S-Tag, wrong side of the map. He is still waiting by the door just in case they look to double back around, but the fact is, the T's can make an educated guess that once you've taken one man off of one site, the chances are that that site is going to be clear. They're still taking things methodically, clearing all of the angles properly, which was definitely something that we saw mistakes made in the past. Like, we can talk about Mirage, the fact that so many times angles just weren't checked properly, and they've definitely learned from that here. An 8th round, maybe there's to be had, but we've already seen one clutch from this man.
Frag goes high. EasyTag works his way inwards. He's going to start clearing corners, and most notably long. Smokes off the bomb. No. Puts the smoke in front of it. The Molotov actually misses its mark, and he's going to stick this defuse. Nobody's going to stop him. EasyTag's got it! Oh, nearly! But he pulls it off. They may have assumed the Molotov was enough, but assuming's not the safe bet. Heroics yet again.
Been mentally scarred by the crowd. 7-5. CT side still with the weaker buy and flame damage doing so much. Rubino and S-Tag down to 44 health apiece. And well, that's not the way they wanted to start this round off. They have managed to take over water control, and that's what it was. They both pushed through the same incendiary. Somewhat unnecessary play, but now the T's are going to make their way towards this site. Now, this is something that Heroic have done in the past. Fall back to a passive stance and make Imperial take that control off of you. And this has been very successful for them because it's clear, we've said this so many times, you take the fights versus Imperial, you will lose. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're North. You still lose, even when you've got a ridiculously high firepower team. So, you fall back and you make them execute. And Nico, well, he's already spotted a fair bit of information. A couple of players over towards that long spot. Haven't seen anything over towards short, and that's still where the majority of players for Imperial are.
Does spot those players starting to trickle in, and we have a position being assumed on the truck. That's Maudie. He lines up two, but can't get it done, so the peek from Tensky's enough, and already the defense has been deconstructed. Rubino strikes in from behind, and the flashbang up high will allow EasyTag to try to close the gap, but do they want to gamble this? They are coming into the next round with nothing. So Heroic will have to save. Imperial have done it again.
Yeah, it seems like these bounce back rounds, the difference is that Imperial, because when they win a round, they keep so many players alive, that if they then lose one, it's fine. They can just buy back in. The T side in general is cheaper anyway. Utility can be given a miss every once in a while on the T side with aggressive plays. Like, for example, the round where they just ran into the B side. They didn't need utility for that. It was, hey, Esperanto, you're going to headshot some people? Sure, no problem. But in this sort of position for the CT side, their buys are getting worse and worse every single time. We've seen them save an AWP and an AK. We've seen them then save sort of like, okay, a couple of rifles. Now they're saving a FAMAS and a UMP and getting towards the very end of the half.
They've actually managed to maintain this success. That's the craziest part, right? We'd seen them lose it before, but now they'll take themselves a tactical pause. I'm all for it. Again, you've gotten yourself back into an opportunity to add some more rounds on the board. Take your time, mull it over. John mulling it over.
That just makes me feel blue. Yeah, no, I actually like it. I like seeing teams take pauses when they're in the lead, especially with how these sort of rounds have gone. Nobody able to sort of string them together. It's been very sporadic, backwards and forwards. Okay, the CTs have definitely taken a much larger hit, especially after now being in real trouble with economy. I think most players having 1,500 on their side, so it definitely isn't going to be a good buy coming in. So just take a moment. Don't throw away these last couple of rounds. You're looking at potentially 10 rounds on the T side, which we saw how strong their CT side was earlier versus North. As said, it's a completely different ball game, a completely different style of play, but that is a strong performance no matter who you're against.
Yeah, and you definitely want to close this out with double digits because Heroic have a fantastic T side on Overpass. I would argue regardless of not having Yugi with that incredibly powerful op. So with a broken buy, Heroic will look to turn the tide again.
With a gamble.
Absolutely. They do have connector control, so worst comes to worst, if Imperial hit up that A bomb site, you get the B players to rotate it through spawn, and then you'll have that extra piece of Heroic moving in through the bathrooms late. That is assuming they are given this portion of the map and that nobody comes to contest it.
I think they actually expected another B rush, because that's actually what was done last time that a pause was taken. We had sort of Heroic talking over tactically, and then that was the round the Imperial just ran into the B site and just like destroyed them. So that's where we actually see sort of 3 players over there, and then they have the sort of like rotations available from connector. Instead, the T's go for the opposite. They push all the way through long. Filthy shot from Nico. But it's still only going to be, okay, maybe not. He's got another. Nico looking to try and take this round by storm alone. Coming in from behind, there's already a low player in the form of Nexa, and the T's really need to do something. You can see Asilian trying to take the initiative. He's been hard, but hits the instant headshot, leaves Modi as the only man back, but Snappy has found another one. Nico trying to push in, is caught out by Nexa into the 2 versus 2. Now they know where Snappy is. However, Modi's been a little bit more sneaky so far. He's doing damage, leaves it all onto Nexa alone. He's only got 23 HP. They take the pause, but the bomb's been tapped. They're baiting him out of position, and they are just going to be onto this defusal.
It's a close one, but they've got it. Heroic with another round. They make it work thanks to Nico. Again, he has one of the sickest deagles on this team. He just has a sick deagle in general. It's very skillful, and I'm all for it. It's unfortunate for him that he does get caught out as he pushes up through bathrooms, but you can see both those players there from Imperial trying to use their utility in the 2 versus 2, most notably the flashbang as he falls back into the bank. There was a Molotov as well, which could have been thrown on the bomb, but the smoke obscured it. So here we go, 15th round. A successful T side from Imperial so far. They're looking for that 3-point lead. They've got the double op set up to try and make it work, and already Nuki finds it. The pick is his. The opener theirs. And Imperial can slow things down now.
Yeah, this makes the defense of that B site just that little bit tougher. Obviously having some extra money, so that's why the secondary AWP was found. But basically they use it just to try and find the opening pick, and well, UK's got another and a third as well. The AWP comes to life in this one, and the remaining 2 players, well, there's no save option this time, Heroic. They've got to try and retake this.
Oh, another headshot. Modi doesn't even get a chance here. This is done. This is over. Nico, try as he might's only going to get one, and Imperial finish this off with a significant T side. The fact that it started off slow, but they got that nice little spree of rounds in first. The back and forth nature never really gave Heroic much stable legs to stand on. And Imperial definitely made the most of that. It's always nice to see this op play working out. It's a bit of a gamble to come in with an op so close to the end, especially to put him up close and personal. I mean, those were some CQC type situations. And yet, he prevailed.
Yeah, much more of a team performance, as said, though, from Imperial. It isn't just one man dragging them, kicking and screaming through maps. This is every single player on the team having impactful rounds, and that's much more what you kind of want when you're going into a grand final scenario, because if they do take this to the 3rd map, you don't want it to have been one person who's just pulled you through a map. You want to go into it saying, okay, everybody's performing, everybody's feeling good after what happened in the first one. I think it's going to be important for Imperial that that is the case. So far, well, you can see not that much of a differentiation, or at least not that much as before. We go into our pistol round, an important one for both teams. A little bit of team damage already done to Esperanto, trying to maybe pump him up by lowering his HP. It makes those Glocks that ever bit more deadly. Connector going to be cleared early on. Heavier stack over towards that B side, which is fairly common in the pistol round. And while Nuke, he's going to be the only man here. He's looking to try and just spot. Takes the peek over towards short, and I think this is just an attempt to sort of run around the map, bait out positions with just sound, but the fact is the CTs can't hear anything anyway.
So they are deaf to the antics of Heroic, but they feel that one. Nuki gets deleted. Esperanto's on the bomb site. He has had a stellar USP, but no, he gets skewered from 2 directions, and Snappy shows no signs of slowing down here. Asilian waits for his teammates to arrive, both of which by his side, and Snappy now resides inside the bank. He'll hold. He hears this as well. He knows it's coming. Nexa making a bit of a ruckus as he works his way upwards, and Snappy can't hit the headshot right away. In fact, now Imperial have an opening. Now they have a chance back into this bomb site. But Heroic's after plants are superb until they start to be deconstructed. One by one they fall, and EC Tag's gonna have to come in from long. They've already got a player on the bomb. EC Tag taps him away, and the defuse is there. Imperial steal it.
Fact is, even hearing the eruption for the crowd, I think that one they thought had gone the way of Heroic, but actually it's a great retake coming in from the CT side. They managed to win that back with the pistol as the defusal snuck in from the CTs, and we're going to see this AK play juggled around. Rubino will have himself one, S-Tag with the other, no head armor for him. And actually, okay, we've had some other juggling, some pistols going back the way of Snappy. T-side looking to try and break back early, but look at the buy coming out from Imperial. They've gone for rifles on every single player. Granted, they've got very little in terms of utility, no kits as well, so maybe if a kill or two go the way, then actually rifles could fall into the hands of Heroic. The fact is, though, they're definitely ready for something like this.
They just need to win their straight-up duels, but EC Tag's on the forefront. He spots the barrel, gets the chance. And Imperial have to be cautious, because with these 3 pistols, the moment they find an opening, I'm sure Heroic will just clamp down on any chance into the round. But Nuki starts to piece this together. He opens it up with a headshot. The flashbang is blinding. The long push is distracting, and Nuki now removed. Esperanto gets deleted, and Heroic will have this A site for their own. Tensky tries to buy map control, but Madi shuts it down, and just like that, Heroic are back into the round. Rubino's up close too. And he might go even further.
Yeah, to his detriment, in fact, though, he has met. The problem is, unlike in the pistol round, there is no kit. Imperial do not have that luxury, so the time is going to start to play a bigger factor here than anything else, and I feel like they've got to make that decision, a fade away. The force buy from Heroic has been successful, and they're going to get themselves a 7th on the board.
There we go. Heroic have done it. I believe that's twice now in this series, Tom, that Heroic actually win on the upset. It's unfortunate for them. Imperial just gotta have to sit back, take it on the chin. Unfortunately,
make much more of a back patter.
Yeah.
Doesn't get in their faces about it. So, yeah, well done, guys. Don't know why that's how I imagine how he talks. I'm pretty sure that's not. There we go. CT side, they have forced right back into this one. Got more utility, even have a kit this time, but the weaponry is where the damage is done. They've only got themselves a couple of rifles. It's the SMGs alongside a pistol onto Tensky. Definitely hasn't built into the series the same way as we've seen in some of the others. Maybe if he wakes up, Imperial can have themselves the second map, the one that was never supposed to go their way. They still sit in the lead for now, but they lose this buy and the next. And while 9 rounds will sit for Heroic, so no chance that they're out of this game just yet. Definitely heavier on the utility themselves and have rifles on every single player, but Esperanto and Nuke quickly pick up 2 kills. Maybe this is about to flip right back again. It seems just the nature of this Overpass map is that nobody will take a distinctive lead.
Nothing has been stable, nothing consistent or reliable, really. We will get those deep smokes into the bomb site. This is Heroic's chance to find themselves the plant prior to the CTs moving upwards, but they've left a gap, and Asilian tries to work this. Finally, the fire fades, and here comes Asilian slaying the first. Nexa gets the second. Rubino's all alone in a 1 versus 5. No chance. He doesn't have the bomb, and so Imperial have the round. And Tom, I have to wonder, is this the nature? Do they take it one step further in their upsets? Do they not only take down the favored team, but by doing so at a 1-map disadvantage?
What, are you trying to say that they've like put handicap mode on? Is that what it is? They're just like, yeah, we're gonna lose our best map. Maybe they just want to give us a show, because we know that the last map should be a damn good one at that. But there's gonna be a tech pause called in. Esperanto, it's the mic again. There's only one man who can save us, it's Mike Man. He has that. How many mics has he fixed now? It must be. it must. It's like, look, guys, you just put it back. The magnet sticks.
We're pushing the dozens. Oh, we need 2 guys to fix the mic.
Mike Man. It'd be great if his name was Mike.
It would be.
Oh, even he's struggling this time.
It's all right. It's a matter of time. I really like that picture of Asilian in the background. It's a nice smile.
Yeah, out of everyone on his team, he definitely looks like the happiest. It's almost like the rest were told that they're doing passport photos, and it's like, they go to smile, it's like, no, you gotta look serious.
Oh, you got to be wiped off.
You got to stroke it a bit. if the microphone's not happy, then it's not gonna go into place. His second mic, man. How many men does it take to change a microphone?
Looks like the answer might be 2.
Well, does it Esperanto count? And that's 3.
He is a mere boy, Tom.
It's a 2.5 men.
Unless he leads his team to victory here at Copenhagen Games. And then...
So what you're saying is this is him becoming a man?
Yeah, it could be. Hey, man, you beat North today on land. That's...
Yeah, but no, you said only if he wins. That doesn't count. That's in the past.
I'm backpedaling.
Oh, coward. Stick
It's
to your
Connor.
guns. Is that what the C in Scrawny CG stands for?
Yeah.
Or coward?
No, Connor.
I know it stands for Connor.
All right, Tom. Enough of your antics. Let's get
Force
back.
buy-in. The T side are not giving up this battle just yet, and you can see how backwards and forwards this has been, other than the initial streak from Heroic. Those 5 rounds really do leave them in a much better stance than they probably should be in. But here we go. Push back. Looking to try and hit towards that B-side. S-Tag is tagged down to just a mere 4 HP. The rest of the team going to want to push back in. Vitensky spraying at nothing. Luckily, Asilian is there to help him out, and the push is being denied. Esperanto with another. They've got lost in the smoke, lost in each other's eyes, and Snappy is going to be the only one left. Shut down round. The force buy this time fails, and we now have a 12-7 scoreline with no money for Heroic.
Nothing. This is a very real chance now for Imperial to continue growing this lead. I mean, again, right, this has all been back and forth in nature. Finally, Imperial have a chance to stabilize, and of all places, it's on the CT side of Overpass. That's where you want to be with an opportunity like this. We saw how Heroic just crumbled on the B site. A fast round thrown the way of Imperial. A challenge easily denied. Nuki, though, whoa! Doesn't even see it coming, doesn't hear them barreling back behind him, so Esperanto is going to be contested, and he nearly takes down 2. He will come back and even gets the 3rd. The bomb to the dirt, and Snappy now the last man up is no challenge. Esperanto with the anti-eco, and Imperial another round.
And those are the sort of rounds you don't want to give this man, because those are the sort of rounds that can wake him up from what has been a bit of a dormant sleep so far in this matchup. Still having his moments, of course, not without impact, but he definitely hasn't hit the same heights that we saw from him in the series versus North. Obviously, 20 odd plus kills per map. Tees will be back with a buy, but it could be one of their last if they don't manage to make it work. Nexa actually going to keep himself the SMG, but Rubino straight through the smoke says goodbye to Tensky. It will be a man advantage now for Heroic.
Now they're so close to that smoke. If Vasilian pummels this with gunfire.
They should know he's there. He just made a massive sound.
Yeah, but still, they are going to come out and try to check it. They do actually drop him. Nexa opts not to go through it and instead doubles back towards short. Now they have offered up their backsides, but he reveals himself and doesn't get a kill in a crucial moment. The Molotov down, he himself toppled over, and Imperial go quiet in this round, silently into the night, silently into their graves. Heroic with an 8th.
And this is the one thing we haven't really seen from them, is a clean round. Just one where, okay, they finally bounce back versus like a streak. They have that chance in the next for the reset, but the problem is they're not going to be reset so much anymore because they finally kept a round where there's not too many people dying. They are still going to look to try and take this weapon out of the hands of Nuke, but he's got to be careful. Snappy coming in from behind. He's managed to dodge quite a few of these players, but they are going to be running round towards it. Now here's the steps, finds it first, looks for a second, but is overwhelmed. And that's a free AWP to be picked up by Heroic. They do a lot of damage to the economy of Imperial as well, but they should still have the cash to buy.
Really didn't take them long to get back into this game, Tom.
It's only one, though. They haven't been good at streaking rounds together in this matchup.
Yeah.
Or in this map. That's been the biggest thing. Their economy has wrecked them every single time. Nuke this time looking for some aggression, but the counter flashes won't allow for too much. He's still going to go back for more, and another flash meets him anyway. He has his Lithuanian buddy to support him, but he's going back for more. So are we with the camera, but actually both players will fall. The initial duels, the initial aggression completely fails, and now we have to see an answer, and because of that, Tensky pushes it to the hands of Rubino. 3 quick kills coming in for Heroic. Very well played. I love that sort of stuff, because you know that after those first 2 kills come in, that somebody's got to try and make a play. So that's where the patience of Heroic comes in. I think if they win the opening duel, they'll probably win 9 out of 10 rounds just by being patient.
Yep. And I think they have that ability, right? We've seen Imperial kind of falter in those moments when they themselves are challenged in 3v5s or so. But Asilian gets something of this one. That's actually a good opportunity for him to double around. Oh. But again, right, we always find players from Heroic positioned in a responsive type situation. Like, that's a prime example of it. He gets his kill, he controls the short, and he tries to exit into connector, only to be found by another Heroic member. It's not as though they put everybody in one position over and over. They have that core unit, and they always have the lurker who seems to find his impact.
Well, the epitome of that is the fact that that was a team ace as well.
Yeah.
So it's a different player finding every single kill. So you know it's not just one man pushing into a site and finding a couple. It's, okay, initial kill, then another player, then it walks into another player. And it's actually quite enjoyable to watch. It's almost sort of like a melody being played, that just one by one they pick players off. It's not something like rash and aggressive. It's almost something beautiful, the fact that they're able to just trade so effectively. Rubino this time, though, will try a little bit something more aggressive. And the note that he's hit is his head exploding as the Deagle meets it. Now, they do actually have the AK-47. I'm hoping that that can somehow meet the hands of Esperanto, who does actually have some Kevlar behind it. Still with a trusty Deag in hand. The bomb going to go down towards this bank position, and already Asilian will fall in return. Nexa going for the taps. He has to, because he doesn't have any armor, and well, now the T's have pretty much rectified any problems of this round. They will be getting themselves a 10th. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Can SB make it costly? Well, he takes one.
Tensky could take another too. But he will value his own life, falling back to the washroom slightly. Still looks to re-engage, and he does hear these feet nearly coming his way. He gets it.
Is the bomb going to blast a gun to him?
I think that's what he hopes for. Lady Luck.
I think it did. Yeah. There you go. He's got an AK. I like that. It's always...
Re-peek from the bomb site, Tom.
Nah.
Could have gotten deleted.
It was fine. It was fine.
All right. Another one. Pauses, my friends. Being used here by Imperial. And honestly, take as many pauses as you want. I'm sure these players have never been in such a...
Not as many. There's rules.
There are. There are, Tom.
We all know that you're a bit of a rebel and a rule breaker, but you can't take as many as you want.
I'm quite uncontrollable.
Well, let's ask your girlfriend. How's that cat food situation going? That is such an in-joke that no one else will get that, but I'm going with it anyway.
I appreciate it. Imperial trying to smooth out the issues. Obviously, again, right, here's the thing. This is why I say take as many pauses as you want, because I don't think these players in this iteration have had more of an opportunity to succeed in a LAN environment.
No.
This is it. This is their Mona Lisa, their attempt at a masterpiece. They've been painting it quite nicely, but it's starting to catch back up to them. Heroic down by 3, in with a bye. Remember, of course, one op per side. That's Snappy versus Nuki. And Snappy wants an early duel. There are CTs awaiting him in the B site. 3 of which, to be precise. And a Cillian nearby on top of things. So Nuki's been left to his own efforts over towards long A, but the opening kill comes from Easy Tag. A headshot?
CTs are in a bit of trouble. They do have Nuki so aggressive over towards the other side of the map that they can sort of go for a bit more of a gamble stack with their players over here, but Modi has already found one Nexa. He needs to be this catalyst on the site. He finds 2, but Rubino is there to trade. Cillian's still there, but look how long the rotation is. Cillian needs to buy time. He needs to do damage, and he just can't quite manage it. The flank is too far behind. The question is, can Nuki do anything on the retake? Oh, he actually spotted by Snappy. The problem is Snappy's not quite quick enough. Nico will go pushing back and actually looks to take a very interesting angle all the way over towards that heaven spot. Kit has been retrieved by Nuke, however, and actually he goes doubling back. The question is, can he bait him out from that peak? Nuke expects exactly what I did, that he's going to come from above, and he peeks down the lower. Did he see the barrel? That's the real question. I don't think he did. And now the smoke can come out, trying to bait things in here, but Nuke hits the shot through it anyway and wins himself the clutch. The 1v2 goes the way of the Lithuanian Orpa, and it will be 14-10.
That is huge. I mean, I was sold just like you were, Tom. I thought that was for sure a heaven after plant position. Nico, I think, plays it well, just baiting out his time, trying to burn it off. He puts down the smoke grenade, which would have allowed for him to spam towards the bomb. And of course, the CT had no smoke of his own. But he was given one chance at hitting that op shot, and he steps up when he had to. Imperial now doing what we thought would have been impossible. Winning their opponent's map pick, but it's not done yet. Snappy starts this off with a headshot. Nuki may have clutched, but he's removed from the equation early on. Esperanto lingers here inside the bathrooms, hoping for his chance to strike. And he sees the trajectory of the flames. That could spread to his feet. No. He takes his chances, holds his nerve, and continues to lock down mid.
Will Cillian be expected? There's not really much chance for a trade here. That's the interesting thing, but he goes for the wide peak, loses the battle. 2 players here. However, look at where all of the CTs are. They're all over towards the A side of the map, and every single one of the Ts is going to go running into B. They've gambled heavily, and they've got it completely wrong. They do have a decent amount of kits, but the problem is there's just next to no utility. They need some sort of quick pick here to get them back in, and instead it goes the other way.
Is next to the smoke, trying to find some kind of an opening, but the problem is his teammates are so far gone. In fact, it looks like they want to save. Nexa might just opt to hit the exits. Or does he try to sneak a defuse? He does have a kit. These Ts, already having secured that back flank through Monster, might just exit out that way. He doesn't have the time.
All right. I think he was just hoping somebody pushed past him instead. We'll just look to save. I think there was a rifle somewhere in there, although doesn't look like he can find it. That's the problem with that water. It's so muddy you can't actually see anything through it. Now the big question is, do the CTs actually force? They've got a little bit of spare cash. By the looks of things, they are going to be juggling some weapons around, and yeah, they are going to fully invest into this one. Esperanto on just the Deagle. It hasn't damaged him too much in the past. The problem is now, if they don't manage to steal this round away, Imperial are going to be getting ever closer, and I'm starting to get flashbacks to what we saw versus North. A strong, demanding position, a 14-9. I don't even know if that was the same scoreline here. It may have been. And then it gets dragged back to OT.
Exchange of smoke grenades. This is a good setup from Imperial based on what looks to come their way, and Nuki hits the first frag. Now that's going to be control of Connector. He's got two players coming inwards and he denies them both. Oh! Dropping the bomb in the process. But Madi, Madi's in a powerful position. Even he is denied. They get nothing, Tom. Imperial shut the entirety of that push down. It is all on Nico. He's got a minute to work off of, and the bomb's been forfeited over, other than Nuki, who still holds the corner, successfully so. Imperial have done it. They secure OT at the least, and they will have multiple chances to close out in regulation.
I said at the beginning of the last best of three, when we were talking about players to watch, Esperanto was the main one, but Nuclear was someone I said, I don't think he's quite fulfilled the potential he can have in this team. He is now 21-13. He sat top of the board. We've seen a 1v2 clutch, followed by a 4K from him. He has definitely come to the table in this grand final, and now they're looking to end this here. Aggression from Asilian already removes one of these Danish players. It's Modi gone and out, and now the push comes into long. One man lurks in the back lines in the form of Rubino, but the T's ultimately looking to push towards A.
They have gotten themselves pushed up towards long. Esperanto should have spotted some kind of presence there. You can see him reeling it back in and laying it down. The Molotov undeniably denies any kind of push. No commitment can be made. Although, be cautious. Snappy, hungry.
I think Nexa will have got the spot, though.
Should have. But it's Nico to get the opening. Esperanto has been removed. Nuki with a crucial kill, then traded straight back. It's really Nico stepping up here, and we are into even ground. 3v3, 45 seconds. No connector control, nothing towards short for Heroic. They are opting to hit the A site. They have cleared out that close flank. Imperial now not holding the bomb site, but rather moving on, and a delayed reaction from Nexa is gonna cost him. Tensky's up next, and he does finally put an end to Nico. It is even keel, and they will plant the bomb for Bank.
Yeah, again, it happens where Heroic are able to get themselves onto the site without too much information. You can see only now Asilian is gonna start his rotation back towards the site, and they're homed in on his spot. However, he'll actually be able to get past the threshold. The question is, will they know where he is? The fact is, Tensky should be able to feed in the information. They're not anywhere in my vision. So that leaves very few places they can be. Peeks the angle, but Snappy is holding, ready and waiting. And now Tensky looks like he's going to go for some sneaky tactics once again. Taps the bomb, tries to bait them out for the peak, manages it, but S-Tag just goes past the threshold. That bomb's going off. There's nothing they can do. And Imperial, they're not closing it here at least, because Heroic is still alive and kicking.
With 3 more opportunities as well. Heroic looking to do what North could not, win out in overtime. Close this series 2-0. Walk away the champions. Copenhagen Games 2018. This round looks easy, Tom. It is a Deagle, a CZ, and a P250 with a single set of Kevlar, no nades. The counter-terrorists opting to go aggressively up into A will position themselves for the push. They wait. And in fact, Heroic nearly overstep this boundary, nearly walking into what they hope will be a hold. Imperial are set up here. The crossfires are fantastic, and you can see Rubino just holding off towards B.
Oh,
but oh my Snappy. And another 2 sniper headshots and a real chance at some footing here towards long. He is dismantling the hold. The trap has been picked to pieces. Tensky's up next.
Don't do that. Don't go anywhere near Snappy at the moment. There's only a head being shown. I think his teammates are possibly going to do the work for him. S-Tag will take down one. SB still lurking in the smoke with his Deagle. We know what he can do with this weapon. His teammates have all fallen. Now, of course, cost doesn't really come too much into play anymore. And it will be a flawless round. Great work from Snappy to dismantle the trap. Still looking to try and fight this one back, of course. There's a buy coming in this next one. This was just dirty. I like the second one as well, because it can be very difficult to hit a pixel, especially on a crouching player.
Yeah, we saw at the beginning of the game when Tensky stayed alive on the Optimus Prime. But, alas, we are back with another buy. Scout for Esperanto, Op on Nuki. Two scoped weapons coming into this one. And we have a much more even defense with the offense spread as well. Nobody making gambles. But Nuki does get curious, and he's looking to find that opening frag. Maudie sits back. Whoa. Oh, no. He gets struck down from above. He had his chance at an opening frag, but a sliver of cover works out, but that's huge. Esperanto with a trade and a flashbang back to the bomb site finds some safety. Sure enough, they've lost the op, but at least they cut one down. Snappy gone. 4v4.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Scout headshot coming in for Esperanto. It's going to fall back to the site, just going for a bit more of a jump spot. Spamming a few bullets away. He has to be careful he doesn't run out of them, because there are players starting to edge towards his position. Has support from Tensky as well. It's almost like these are warning shots. Don't come near me. Even almost shooting his teammate. Tensky left completely blind, and now Esperanto will be the only one on the site. This isn't the weapon you want at close range, and both his teammates are just going to have to save. Imperial, they're being taken the distance once again. Deja vu springs to mind as overtime looks to be looming now, as it will only be 2,400 loss bonus plus what they can have saved to go into the next round.
And this is the exact same scenario that unfolded when they were playing versus North. It is the later portion of the halves where we start to watch their opponents come to life. So Heroic with a little adaptability and some depth, changing things up and working their way to the A site yet again, getting past Esperanto, who tried his damnedest to hold on there. The scout shots just weren't enough once those terrorists got so close. So Imperial will have a final chance in the 30th round of the second map, their opponent's map choice, their opponents who do hold the first map in their pocket.
Their opponents who have a chance to make it a second year in a row of Danish teams, or majority Danish teams, picking up that trophy. I know that's what the crowd wants. But I'm sure there's a few Imperial fans out there who are hoping that they can end this map here and now, take us to that third of train. And there's going to be some aggression into the connector. It will be denied initially by the Molotov. Nuki just going to have to hide, hold back. Very heavy, in fact, over towards connector. Now, a lot of the push into middle has come in from this T side. Nico's going to be the one leading the charge, but it's a passive hold from Nexa. Doesn't want to peek back in just yet. You can see the temptation. He does want to go for it, but doesn't want to risk giving away an early pick. He takes one, but receives a headshot in return. Still another player there to deal with. In fact, another two, which, again, is somewhat a gamble stack, a bit of an unexpected position to be held. In the meantime, the T's are rotating back towards this B site, which currently only has one man defending it. Actually, a second man joins them in connector. The push will be coming in. We'll see. Can the CTs win this battle? If they lose it, then I feel the round may be done. Molotov forces out the angle. Still a second player to deal with. Asilian, is he going to be expected? It seems like the T's are still checking this, but he gets himself one in return. Looks to re-aggress onto Estag, but loses the duel. The T's dragging themselves back forward, but they've pushed into the stack site. Tensky is going to be waiting, misses the spray. It's left all onto one. Esperanto on short, he has the chance, denies the bomb plant, looks for the second, but the time now on his side. Spots Rubino rotating around. He's waiting for his teammate who's quite far away, but Espy gets the second shot, and now the clock's against him. He's done it. He can just run away. Esperanto has taken this map, and Imperial will be moving to the third.
A 1 versus 3 with time on his side. Heroic fall at the final hurdle, Tom. They've done it. They've actually upset on Overpass, not only defeating North, but now Heroic too. It was such a back and forth fashion. It was so close.